Coming up, sugar babies can come in with very bloated expectations. My resident, anonymous sugar daddy is going to explain right here on Depraved and Debaucherous. Welcome to the program. This is King of Podcasts here with you. Thanks for listening in, catching the show as you always do. It's time for another edition of Confessions from a Sugar Daddy, our ongoing series to help you understand, for those of you young ladies out there looking to find a sugar daddy, and the fact that you're also sugar daddies potentially that are looking to find sugar babies. This is a common thing. It's not even just a thing where, people are just getting together to hook up. No, the fact that there's a pay-to-play kind of scenario now in society, that women feel like their pretty privilege should give them and make them entitled to much more, especially when it comes to what a guy does, to spoil them, to take them on lavish trips, to just buy them things, or just to pay their bills. This is a common thing now. And the realization is that some of the websites, some of the dating apps that are the most popular and that get the most traction and do the best right now of really delivering more quality men and women than there ever has been are sugar daddy sites. It's just the way it is because of the price point. When you look at the seeking arrangements of the world where they can charge up to $129 per month for a guy to come on board and to show some proof that they are what they say they are, that their income they can stand behind. While there are some women that will find some proof in the fact that they can go onto that site, especially if they're a college student, and they can go on there and get a premium account at no cost. As long as they show proof that they are studying in school, then they can go ahead and partake. And these guys will pay for the access, the premium access to find these women to date them in a sugar relationship. Now, with me again, I'm happy to go welcome on board our anonymous resident sugar daddy. His name's JL. We go by just the initials for this series. And I'm glad to welcome him back. JL, thanks for coming on back.
Glad to be back.
JL, for this edition, I want to go and take from a story that came up on a cosmetic site, a Mexican cosmetic site of all places. And they talk about understanding sugar daddy romance expectations. And I'll put a link to this into the description for all of you to go and check out for yourselves. Now, this is translated from Spanish, but this is how it translates into. Sugar daddies want a casual and fun relationship. They anticipate to spend time jointly and converse openly as long as they have a mutual understanding of the conditions. Sugar babies, on the other hand, want to be spoiled and pampered by their sugar daddies. They also want economical support and to expect to obtain a monthly amount for their visits. However, sugar daddies should be authentic about their source, prospects, and operate as such. Now, this is the one thing that has to be understood here. When it comes to sugar babies, and I want to ask JL about this, that while these women are, as this website calls it, attractive, fresh women who expect the sugar daddy to support themselves financially, they're really young and desirable and sweet. They like sugar daddies that will appeal to them. So, JL, I want to go and ask you now about this and help me wrap my head around the fact that there have been some women that we know that today society, there are some women that are very modern that feel like there might be a little bit of delusion in thinking that they should go ahead and get what they should get from a guy because of their pretty privilege, because of what society now says a man should be doing, expecting to offer spoils, offer financial support as a means of supplementing or adding on to her income that she's already made for herself. Discretionary money that she not earned that she has to spend. And that's what they optimally want. But we also know that the expectations right off the bat are somewhat delusional and somewhat far-fetched and somewhat bloated. So, JL, I want you to go and run through some of the examples that you've experienced with some of the sugar babies that have contacted you.
Well, right off the bat, there are always sugar babies that want to go ahead and meet with a guy and automatically ask them for money. But sometimes they do stupid things like they'll say, prove to me you're a real sugar daddy, prove to me that you're real, and send me some money. Well, if they're going to ask you to send some money, they don't tell you where to send it. Like, a girl that's going to do this should at least think about, oh shit, maybe I better send him my Cash App, my PayPal, my Venmo, my Western Union, whatever the fuck, and just send it to him so he'll have someplace to send it. Maybe I need to do that so he'll know where to send it. But some girls don't even think that far ahead. They just say to themselves, oh, I should just go ahead and ask him for money, without even thinking I get the money, what to do with it, and caring how much they ask for.
Well, that's the other thing I want to ask you about, because I've always heard that part where some sugar babies, you feel offended when they start asking you for money without even getting anywhere to what you're looking for.
Well, first of all, sugar babies really don't care. I talked about this before. They're only going to do the bare minimum. You don't need them to undermine you and tell you that they're going to do all this and that for you when they're not. They just want the money and that's it. And as long as sugar daddies understand that, they're going to be just fine. And as long as you know that there's boundaries you're going to put up until you pay, then that's just the way it is. So if a girl comes to me and if I'm a girl first time responding to me on the website, she doesn't want to talk to me over the phone or through Telegram, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. And the first thing she talks about is, send me some money, daddy. Then I just think she thinks I'm ugly or fat or stupid or something else, and she's putting me down just by asking me for money, because that's all she thinks I'm good for, is I'm a fucking ATM machine. So a lot of times that's a way I can go ahead and filter out a girl that I know that's just wasting my fucking time. I just let her go.
Now, in this story I was talking about before, a sugar daddy romance is often depending on sex. There are many prevalent expectations that each party should have. So the expectations you should know. And as you're saying, JL, that the guys should expect the bare minimum from the girls. We hear that phrase all the time because it's now a meme. And it's true. When it comes to relationships, when it comes to sugar daddy dating, I get it. And you've told me about this more than enough.
That's right, because that's what they're going to do right now. It doesn't matter anymore about, they can go and ask you, hey, what do you want, daddy? What can I do for you? What'll make you happy? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. She's going to do what she's going to do. Because she's younger than you. She's a little bit immature. She's going to probably just waste the money because she doesn't care where the money's coming from. It's not her money, so she'll just spend it and she'll do what she wants. And she won't matter what she's going to do to get to it. That's why the sugar babies are more difficult, even though they're amateur, even though they're more immature. Some guys like me find it easier to go ahead and deal with a girl like her than an escort, which is just straight transactional and just wants the money and nothing else. But while she might give you what you want more or less based on what you're paying, it's still going to feel robotic. It's going to be mechanical. It's going to be staged. It's not going to feel authentic or real or have any real emotion behind it. So that's exactly why guys like me don't pick escorts. We pick sugar babies. Even with the headaches that come with them. Because they are young, because they're beautiful, and because sometimes we're going to find the right sugar baby that's going to be sweet and nice and caring. And eventually she will warm up to you and she will appreciate what you do for her.
Right, because it's never going to be that if it becomes a long-term relationship, that the financial expectations should go along. Obviously, you need to meet and reach those financial expectations, but then the expectations of the sugar baby, it's not going to be something you'll get necessarily right away. So nothing in terms of sex will be immediate. You're going to have the conversations. You're going to have to do things where it'll lead up to it. But what you're saying is you should have gradual expectations that if you're being financially reaching her expectations realistically, then she's going to follow along and appreciate you more.
Exactly right. That's how it's going to work.
And in the story, they make the point that sugar daddy associations are a great way to have enjoyment from the support of the man. They will not be afraid to afford the company of a beautiful female as long as they will meet her expectations. And sugar daddy relationships are even more rewarding than traditional absolutely adore in romantic relationships. So girls should not be self-conscious about speaking about their purposes with their fresh sugar daddies. Right. What they want from him. Because it doesn't matter what they say they're going to do for you. You need to know what they want.
Right. Most importantly, you want to know what she wants first. She matters. She's the focus. The spotlight's on her. She's the one you want more than what she wants from you. She wants the money from you, but she assumes she's going to make money from any guy. It doesn't matter who it is. So she can move along to the next guy, the next sugar daddy. Meanwhile, the guys need to feel the same way, but it's only going to work so much. That you'll find a sugar baby that you like, but you know there's going to be another sugar baby just like her down the line that'll pop up into the website as a new member. And you'll obviously look at somebody else the next time around, and you won't even worry about this girl after another day or another week. And she'll be so forgotten, you'll have already moved on. You have to have that mentality. You can let her go. She's expendable. She is going to be gone. And you can't expect to hold on to her unless you're able to get things done where financial expectations are always met and she actually reciprocates. Because if she does that, that's somebody you'll hold on to for an extended arrangement until you decide not to.
Now, in this story, they also wrap up and say that sugar daddies are always looking for a younger woman who's not only beautiful, but who has the same interests and aspirations. They may be looking for a long-term relationship, having a woman, and are prepared to commit a significant amount of money in her. But you say that you can find somebody long-term. Like, how about the expectations of the sugar daddy? Like, how long do you think he should expect to have a sugar baby at his side, especially one in particular like that? Can it come to become a marriage?
Well, I would never do it into a marriage because that's just, you can't even put a prenuptial agreement to that to make it fit like that either. I mean, you can do it if that was just a thought, but like if it's where you were tagged the sugar daddy from the get-go and then you try to convert it, it just doesn't work. What you can expect is maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years of an arrangement, and expect that both of you are going to subside. You're going to go ahead and do something else. You're going to go your way. She's going to go hers, and you'll have had the time with her, young, fresh, beautiful, with the immaturities, with the naivety, with the submissiveness, with that chance to have a girl that will appreciate you and might show some love in her heart for you because of how well you treat her, support her, mentor her. That's what you are hoping for in a sugar relationship. That's what these sugar daddies are on here for. That's what I'm on here for.
That's quite a way to put it, how you put this together. It's really fascinating how you have created this aspect, and you now have this whole mindset as to how this works out of the experience you have, that you're always just trying to pitch your tent, and hopefully you find one girl that will absolutely be just like a regular relationship. It's just one that reciprocates well and appreciates you and really wants to make the time to be with you. Not necessarily get to know you, but really appreciate your time, appreciate what you do, and reciprocate, because that's what matters.
That's the only thing that matters. So as long as she understands that, and she comes into this, and she appreciates me, and sees that I'm doing all this for her, she's going to be loyal, she's going to be understanding, she's going to be appreciative, and her expectations are always going to be understanding. So you won't have to worry about expanded expectations or expecting to give her more. As long as you support, as you honor the agreement you make, there's no reason she should want to leave. You'll be the one that wants to cut it off.
Well, I like how you put all that together. It's very interesting that you decided that was a decision that you've made. You thought this is the right way to go with all this. I appreciate that. It's quite a good way to look at it. And I see where you're coming from right now, and I understand where you're coming from. Another good discussion that we need to go ahead and let people understand why this is all going on and why people need to go ahead and just say, okay, people just need to see that there is this side of the expectations, and that sugar babies are going to act a certain way, and that's what you want to be able to do to understand if you're going to get into this. Then you just figure out how that works. So, JL, thanks for being on with me. I really appreciate you talking to me about this. I think it's just eye-opening. I think it's important, and I think you're really giving some great information. And we're going to do this again. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I want to wrap things up with a story and a phrase that I want you to go ahead and think about as we move into 2023. A story that came in that I thought was fascinating. Glam.com puts a story about a dating strategy called the Goblin mode. Interesting. So this is what the idea is. Goblin mode is you go into every first date 100% yourself and unapologetically so. If the world is going to implode or explode and take us all down with it, why not toss your hands up in the air, shrug, and just kick societal conventions to the curb? What do you have to lose? Nothing. Absolutely nothing, the story says. That's why Goblin mode is such a success. You're being legit without a care in the world. You jump the line between social expectations and society's prescribed ideas of what dating should be and settle into Goblin mode right off the bat. In turn, you give your date the opportunity to go full throttle Goblin too. It's refreshing. It's invigorating. It's a fantastic time to be alive. You know what this sounds like? I know some of you are listening right now. This is George Costanza doing the complete opposite. Right? We all have seen that scene. You know, instead of getting the tuna sandwich, he gets a chicken salad sandwich. And then he sees a hot girl at the counter, and she keeps looking back at him. And he says, "My name is George. I'm in my 40s. I'm unemployed and I live with my parents." And she's turned on by it. And it's like the best, the opposite. It's such a great episode of Seinfeld. Let me just tell you that. But they talk about how you should try the Goblin mode strategy. And you're dropping the facade, bringing the real you, someone who just might show up to a first date in soft pants and a pocket full of snacks. To date in Goblin mode is to be the genuine weirdo that your date is going to discover eventually. That is if they want to embrace your Goblin and see you again. It's about getting getting real really quickly, and you need not to apologize for it. In cutting social niceties, we free ourselves from the constraints of who and what we're supposed to be. We go rogue, a word which from Goblin is derived in Greek Kabbalos, and we become mavericks and are at the helm of our industry. We are everything and then some. In Goblin mode, we offer ourselves up without masks and invite our fellow goblins into our worlds. It's the perfect way to find the one. And if you want to pull it off, they say, label everything with whatever. Seriously, put those cares away because the world is on fire. Politicians are out to get us. Aliens are coming. Update your dating profile to reveal your Goblin mode. Involve somewhat unflattering photos and a profile description that says you're in Goblin mode. So take it or leave it. When you get a match, don't dance around with the usual questions like asking what they do, where they're from. Ask how long they go without showering, or if they prefer to eat Doritos in bed or on the floor. The important questions, they say. I want to know if anybody does try Goblin mode out. Tell me if you do, and tell me if it works for you. Because until next time, I want to see if Goblin mode, that dating strategy, helps you be a little more depraved and debaucherous.